Welcome back
to the last POD-OH-WEEN of the 2025 season.
Yeah, we're gonna get spooky in here. Who's in the mood for the Halloween season?
I am.
We are, and we painted our pumpkins.
We were going to show you last video, but then we forgot. We got tired.
We definitely did. But we did the pumpkins, and mine is a little, Day of the Dead pumpkin. Very cutesy. I worked very hard on it. I love the colors of Day of the Dead, so perfect for Halloween.
Mine is just a typical emo girl with her heart-shaped sunglasses on.
And she has those sunglasses.
Me. It's
literally AKA you. Yeah. And this is AKA me. But today we are going to be doing a couple stories from urban legends.
Because those are topics we haven't touched on. Everything else has kind of been like kind of real life, like stories that we have talked about, real people. But these are just legends that have kind of been brought up throughout the years.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun to look up these different stories and learn about them. So hopefully you find them interesting. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go.
You can go first.
So my story is going to be about the Mothman of Point Pleasant. They say it all started on a cold November night in 1966, just outside of a small town in West Virginia called Point Pleasant. The air was thick with fog, the kind that swallows the road whole, and two young couples were driving past an abandoned World War II munitions plant known only as the TNT area. The place was a mess of crumbling concrete domes and tunnels that wound deep into the ground. Locals said it was haunted. Strange lights, odd noises, but that night what they saw was no ghost. Out of the dark, their headlights caught someone. It stood tall, over 6 feet, maybe 7. Its body was covered in a dark, grayish-brown fur, but the first thing they noticed, the part they could never forget, were the eyes. Big, red, and glowing like burning coals. And behind it, enormous wings, like a moth's, stretching 12 feet wide. When the driver hit the gas, the creature took off, not running, not leaping, but lifting into the air, chasing their car down the winding road. They said it followed them all the way to the edge of town before disappearing into the woods. The next morning, they told the police before long half the town had heard about the bird-like creature out by the TNT area, but that was only the beginning. Over the next year, dozens of people claimed to see it. Some said it flew over their roofs at nights. Others swore it stood outside their windows just watching. Dogs went missing, power flickered, and always, those burning red eyes in the dark. Then in December of 1967, the Silver Bridge, the main route in and out of Point Pleasant, collapsed during rush hour. 46 people died. In the aftermath, witnesses came forward saying they seen the Mothman perched on the bridge days before it fell. Since then, the stories haven't stopped. Some say the Mothman was a warning, a dark omen, trying to save lives before disaster struck. Others believe it was something else entirely, an ancient being drawn to tragedy, feeding on fear. Even now, people say that if you drive out near the old TNT domes late at night, when the fog rolls in and the crickets go quiet, you might still see a flash of those glowing red eyes watching from the trees.
That's scary.
It's very spooky.
I would not want to see that at night.
Me either.
I would freak out.
She would. I would too.
You definitely would. You be throwing fists.
Yes.
Okay, so mine is The Headless Horseman by Sleepy Hollow. So, once upon a time, not far from the Hudson River, there lay a quiet village called Sleepy Hollow. It was a place the sun forgot to hurry through, where twilight lingered. and the air was always just a little thick with dreams. And in that valley lived a man named Ichabod Crane. Tall, thin, and awkward, Ichabod was a school teacher, fond of ghost stories, good food, and the pretty daughter of a wealthy farmer, Katrina Van Tassel. Miss Tassel, she's probably a cute one. But Ichabod wasn't the only one charmed by Katrina. There was another, Brom Bones, what a name. The local hero, broad-shouldered, laughing, and known for his rings. One crisp October evening, Katrina's family hosted a grand harvest party. The air smelled of apples and spice, and candles flickered in every window. There was music, dancing, and storytelling. And when the night grew late, someone spoke the tale that always silenced the room. The story of the Headless Horseman. The ghost of a soldier who lost his head to a cannonball during the war. They said he still rode through the hollow, searching for it, galloping through the night, his cape billowing like smoke, his head replaced by a pumpkin. When the party ended, Ichabod rode home alone. The night was moonless, the road silent, only the chirp of a cricket and the creak of his saddle. Then hoofbeats, another horse behind him, closer and closer. Ichabod looked back and saw a towering rider, cloaked in black, and where a head should have been, nothing but a jack-o'-lantern glowing like fire. He kicked his horse and fled through the woods, over the bridge, heart pounding, and as he looked back one last time, the ghostly rider raised his arm and hurled his blade pumpkin straight at Ichabod. Whoa, what a thing. The next morning, only Ichabod's hat and a shattered pumpkin were found beside the bridge. Some say he fled in terror, never to return. Others whisper the horseman claimed him. Sleepy Hollow still lies under the same quiet spell, where mist curls between the trees and pumpkins go a little brighter than they should. And on nights like this, when you're painting by candlelight and the wind hums through the dark, you might just hear the echo of hooves in the distance. Or maybe it's your imagination. One may never know. And that is an Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay, so my next and final story for Halloween is going to be The Legend of the Bunny Man. So this story takes place in Fairfax County, Virginia. I've been there a few times, but I've never gone exploring.
Kind of close to where we're from, in a way. Well, it's in Virginia.
It's northern Virginia, yeah. So it's maybe 2 hours out.
Not bad.
Yeah. You can ask anyone who's lived around Fairfax County, Virginia long enough, they'll tell you the same thing. Don't go near the bridge after dark. They call it Bunny Man Bridge now, but that's not its real name. Officially, the Colchester Overpass, just a narrow one-lane tunnel where the road cuts under the railroad tracks. But when the sun goes down and the crickets stop singing, people say you can hear the sound of footsteps echoing under the bridge, followed by the scrape of metal on concrete. And if you're unlucky, you might just see him. The story goes back to the 1970s, maybe earlier. Some say it started with an old asylum out that way, one that got shut down after a bus crash while transferring the inmates. Most of them were found and brought back, except one. A man named Douglas J. Griffin, or maybe it was Marcus Walster. No one can quite agree. Either way, The missing man was never caught. Weeks later, they started finding half-eaten carcasses of rabbits hanging from the trees around the bridge. Some were skinned, some were gutted, and in the dirt below, the same footprints, bare, but with deep scratches in the earth like claws. Then one Halloween night, a group of teenagers decided to go out to the bridge for a dare. Midnight came and went. The rest of the kids made it back home except two. When the police found them the next morning, they were found hanging from the bridge rafters. Their bodies covered in white fur, or maybe it was the remains of rabbit pelts. No one really knows. And painted above them in dripping red letters, "You trespass on Bunny Man's land." Since then, people have sworn they've seen him, a tall figure in a dirty, tattered bunny suit, carrying a hatchet or a knife. Sometimes he stands under the bridge, sometimes he's seen darting through the woods, watching from the tree line. Always around Halloween, always after midnight. Some say he's just a ghost, the spirit of the escaped convict. Other thinks he's something else, something older. The kind of thing that wears a man's skin and a rabbit's face to trick the living. But every year, people still drive out there trying to catch a glimpse of him. And sometimes, just sometimes, their engines die as they pass under the bridge, and then they hear it. The faint tap, tap, tap of metal on the roof of their car. That's when you don't look back, you just drive. Because if you do, you might see two glowing eyes in the dark, and the bunny man smiling with his hatchet raised.
I'm scared of bunnies now. I never heard that one before. Heard it, like, that's scary.
The other one I read was a little bit more PG, but this one,
that's scary. I don't like that. Get away from me. No more Easter Sunday for me. You never know what's going to show up.
that's very true.
Scary. Okay, so for my last one, it's called The Vanishing Hitchhiker. It was a rainy October night, the kind where the highway feels endless, and the world outside the windshield is nothing but rain and reflections. A man, we'll call him Jack, was driving home from a late night shift. The clock glowed 11:47. His wiper squeaked across the glass, and the radio murmured a love song from decades ago. That's when he saw her. A girl, oh baby, you okay? A girl standing on the side of the road, drenched to the bone. She couldn't have been more than 20. White dress, bare feet, hair plastered to her face. Jack slowed down and pulled over. The girl climbed in quietly, water dripping from her face and from her dress. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Thank you," she said. "I just need a ride home." He asked where she lived. She gave an address not far from town. The road stretched quiet except for the hum of the engine in the rain. She said her name was Mary. He offered her his jacket. When he glanced over, she was staring out the window, eyes wide, watching the raindrops race. And for a moment, he thought he heard her humming the same tune playing on the radio. Just moments before. When they reached the address, an old house at the edge of town, Jack turned to tell her they'd arrived. But the seat was empty. His jacket still there, soaked through, but no sign of Mary. Confused, he ran to the house and knocked. An older woman answered. When he stammered out the house, she smiled sadly and said, "You're not the first. That was my daughter, Mary. She died on this road 10 years ago, on a night just like this." No one knows exactly what Jack saw that night. But sometimes on stormy autumn evenings, drivers still report a girl in white on that same stretch of road. And every time someone stops to help, she disappears just before they reach the house. Maybe she's looking for one last ride home. Maybe she just didn't realize she's already there. And that's The Vanishing Hitchhiker, a story told all over America and in small towns and big cities just like this.
Very interesting.
And it changes names, places, and years. But one thing never changes. She always disappears before dawn. Is she real? Or is she just a figment of your imagination?
Could
Or a
be that.
ghost?
It could be anything. Boo, bitch. So that was the
Urban Legends, brought to you by the Just Go With It podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
We hope that you have a great Halloween and that you have a lot of fun and don't get into too much trouble because you never know what's lurking.
And then going into the new month, I hope everyone has a very prosperous new month.
Yes, and a very happy start of November. But until then, keep it spooky. We love you guys and stay tuned for the next couple of videos.
We have plans.
We have some plans and we might do a couple cooking videos, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
For Thanksgiving. But until next time, we love you guys and keep it spooky. What was that? And keep it spooky.
Bye.
Bye.